Kia ora, we are at a super special spot for me, and when we talk about landscape and forming part of our identity, then this place up here really helps to inform who I am. This is a mountain called Mihiwaka, and there is also water that streams down here, beautiful water that comes out, and it'll carry on and go all the way out to the ocean. And my house is just down the hill. So this isn't a place that I grew up with. I don't necessarily have whakapapa or ancestry back to this place, but it is a place that it feels good in my heart. When I'm in this place, it gives me a sense of well-being and a sense of connectedness into nature, into the environment, and into something bigger than myself as well. And water is such a precious resource. So some people say that the next global war might be over water. And part of the reason for that is that it's an open resource. So here we have a natural spring that is coming straight out of the headwaters of Mihiwaka. And anyone can come along here and grab this water, and it's a beautiful open resource for the community to use. The quality of water is really good. So as the water, it rains down, this is part of the hydrology cycle. As it starts to rain down, it filters its way all the way down through the soil. And as it comes down, this natural process, it gets filtered because it goes through all the rocks and it goes through all the soil and becomes really clean. And as it goes through that soil, it also picks up minerals that we can drink and that are good for our body. So this is, I would consider this sacred water. This is beautiful. And I think sometimes it's really easy to take these open resources for granted. Being able to just turn on the tap and have water is actually quite a luxury. And it's quite nice to just stop and pause and think about where this comes from and how when we're at our kitchen sink and we turn the tap on, what is the bigger picture? What is the biggest cycle or the bigger ecological loop that is going on behind the scenes? So when this rains and this filters through, this is going to carry out onto the ocean, and then process of evaporation, the clouds are going to lift it up, it's going to come all the way back down, and the cycle continues. A whole free cycle, just doing its thing on its own. So one thing I like to do before I take this water, and this is to do with the relationship that I have with nature, is to honour this resource before I take. And this can be an easy thing for us humans to do, is just to want to take, and do it really quickly and not really pause and have any intentionality or have any thought process around what we're actually gathering. This is a gift, and from my point of view, it's something to stop and appreciate. So I like to just honour the water. I like to thank the mountain. I like to thank the whole hydrology cycle and this bigger planet, this bigger process that's going on that is way bigger than I can comprehend. And then I get to fill up my bottle. So this is clean enough to just drink straight out from nature. And before humans came along and polluted a lot of our environment, all water could be drunk like this. So I wonder about the places where you are from, or the places that feel special to you, and what is the quality of the environment there? What is the level of pollution in that place? And how does that affect you and how you connect with this landscape? Because I know for me, if I couldn't drink water straight from the mountain, that would cause a disconnect, or I wouldn't be able to stop and really appreciate and honour it. So the more we can look after our environment, the more we can feel connected to it. And then also we enter into a relationship of giving and receiving. So not just taking the resources from the land, but pausing to think, what can I give back? Or how can I have some intentionality around this? So I'd love to show you up top. So let's go for a little walk and I'll show you special maunga or mountain Mihiwaka. Here we are at the entrance to Mihiwaka, and something I do before entering into the bush is again just pause and acknowledge the mauri or the life force that is inside of here. So I do that with a wee karakia or a wee blessing. So e te tāne mahuta manaki ki tia mai ki a mātou I tēnā. And tāne mahuta is in Māori mythology, the god of the forest. And there's something else that I want to show you, so just follow me up inside of here. So there is a community group, and they organise a lot of pest control in this area. So in New Zealand, way back in the day, millions of years ago, we were part of a giant continent called Gondwanaland. And when we separated off from there, then we drifted apart and we became an island, and we kept the species that we had right on that land. And it turned out that we didn't have many predators. We had a lot of birds, a lot of beautiful birds that are endemic, which means that they are from here and they're only found here, nowhere else in the world. And over a lot of time, because these birds didn't have predators, then they started to adapt and evolve. And so they didn't need their wings anymore because they didn't need to fly away from predators. So a lot of our birds became flightless birds. And then we started to find that people started to come in and bring with them things like rats, bring with them things like stoats and weasels and possums. And now we have a really big problem in terms of our flightless birds are really under threat and under attack. So New Zealand does a lot of pest control to try and tackle that problem. There's a lot of different ways that we can do that. There's some very controversial ways with poison that's dropped from helicopters. And then there's more land-based and labour-intensive ways of trying to manage that. So this is one example here, and yeah, inside of here there'll be a trap. There'll be bait inside of here as well. This is all locked up, so I can't show you, but there might be egg or there might be peanut butter, something like that. And this is just small enough for a wee stoat or a wee weasel. Comes through, hits the trap inside, and then it needs to get reset. So the advantage with this is that it doesn't involve poison, and it's a very fast kill, and it's more humane. The downside is that it needs a lot of human effort and volunteer hours to keep this under control. So as we head up into the bush, you may see lots of tags like this, and they are pest control lines, and they wander their way all the way up to do that and to try and look after the environment and the unique and vulnerable species that we have. So let's go for a wander up top, and I'll show you just some of the reasons why I think it's so special, and the view is one of them. Cool, so we are nearly at the top. We've been walking for about 20-30 minutes, and yeah, I'd love to explain a little bit about why this place is so important to me. But follow me up and I'll show you the view. So before, in a previous career, I was an outdoor instructor, so I was teaching rock climbing, and I used to bring my students up here to climb. So this is my first experience of being in this place. And you know, I had this dream job. I was teaching rock climbing in New Zealand, and yeah, it really gave me a sense of purpose, and it was wonderful to be in that teaching role as well. Make sure you don't fall over there. And then I moved, and then my house was actually really close to this place. So now I come up here to reflect, I come up here to think, I come up here when I'm having a hard time. So this is the area where I used to teach rock climbing with my students. Cool. Another reason why this is important is that I spent lockdown in my house with my partner, and then once we ended that period, which was quite intense, I'm sure you have all experienced some kind of intense moments, we got to come up here and debrief and just think about that experience and try and get our head around what that was like. So come with me here. There's been a lot of special moments spent here, and I particularly love being up here in the rain or in the morning or the evening, just experiencing it in lots of different ways. Don't fall off the cliff because that's where we used to go climbing. But you can see out here the view, and yeah, just being so connected to the ocean. Down here, all the beaches that you're starting to see, that's where I go surfing, and it's also where I'm going to be collecting cockles, which you'll have a chance to see that later on. And I think being Pākehā, which is New Zealand European, I think in the past sometimes I felt some disconnect from landscape as informing my identity. And I don't have the stories of ancestors to this place like Ron does. My ancestry comes from Scotland and from England. We came here on a boat. But what I've come to discover in terms of uncovering my own cultural identity and my connection to nature and to landscape is that I can still really have a very close connection with the environment that's around me. And part of how I do that is to have experiences here, and like I was saying, in lots of different ways, morning, evening, rain, sun, to spend time here, to think about how I can give back to this place, what I can offer, and to have some ceremony or some specialness around it. And that's where I've invited people to come up here with me and share moments with me, or just when I've been up here by myself and journaling or having a chance to pause. So this place means a lot for me. I feel like it's a place of strength. You know, we're literally standing on rock. This is basalt, and that was from a huge volcanic eruption that happened in Dunedin. So it's a place of strength, it's a place of grounding. So if I need some support or some stability, this is where I come. But it's also up really high, and so I feel like I can really celebrate and feel elevated in this place and have an overview of, this, it's just exquisite. And to be in combination with the forest and the birds, there's a lot of bird song that happens in this place. It informs my identity, informs who I am. And just linking back to when we collected water, you can see the whole hydrology cycle and how close we are to the ocean and the clouds and how that would all work. And we've got estuaries, we've got so many different ecosystems in such a small area. We're so incredibly lucky. And how these all influence and inform one another, because they all do. They all impact each other in that big web of life. So yeah, thanks for exploring my special place with me. I know that you'll have some special places, and when you connect into that place, I imagine that there's probably a sense of protection that you would like to have over this place, and kaitiaki, which is a sense of guardianship. So of course I'd never want to do anything to damage this place. So we can use this from a sustainability point of view as well, in terms of perhaps the more connection that we have and the more time that we have in nature, and the more we understand how humans interact with landscape, that we can start to look after it a bit better. And if I want to take care of my special place, then I will want to take care of your special place. And once you hear about my place, you'll probably want to take care of it too. And there's so many special places out there in the world, then it makes sense to look after everybody's special place, which is just our environment as a whole. So thanks for being with me and my place, and we'll go on another field trip really soon.